Hello and welcome to Coming Soon and WrestleZone. It's more just WrestleZone. The Coming Soon is just me. But we're here, WrestleZone Coming Soon. We're talking about Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which stars Dave Bautista, the soon-to-be WWE Hall of Famer. Is he technically one?
Hall of Famer.
Wasn't inducted.
Right?
No, he put it on delay.
The delayed Hall of Famer, but he's going in, the legendary star. So we're here to talk about the film Army of the Dead. It's out on Netflix now. We've all seen it, and we have quite a bit of thoughts. And I think what's really interesting is the beginning of the film, where this isn't your typical zombie film. It deals with Area 51 and the zombie apocalypse. All starts with some roadhead. I was not expecting. I died when I saw that first scene. I was like, oh, so we're going down that route. Robert, what do you think about the roadhead technique? Because if you cause a zombie apocalypse, I feel like that's not like the best technique,
I think this was more about explaining, the pleasures in life and the absolute uncertainty of life, where you might run into zombies, you might get married in Vegas and get some roadhead. You just never know. You never know what life has in store.
If anybody wants a spoiler without context, we should just post that Shawn Michaels gif.
Yeah, definitely.
That's how Army of the Dead started.
Yeah, it was such an exciting opening scene where the big alien zombie, I guess, the genetically engineered zombie appears. Colin, what do you think about the opening moments there?
I liked it. It was a nice way to shake it up, where it's not a normal zombie film, and it's like there's some automatic intrigue with all right, the military is doing stuff they shouldn't be doing, and that was kind of the big hook there. And we could talk about it more, but that's something I kind of wanted a little more follow up on, because that's something that never really got I don't know. I was left wanting a little more from that aspect of it, because when you have a zombie movie like this, I always look at some of those plot more plot driven things rather than just the zombie fighting and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that too. But for me, that's how you can kind of go from a normal zombie movie to something better or something different. And that's, I liked parts of what they did. I like how they at least established that right away in the opening.
You can tell me that after the year we've had, you need an explanation as to governments and medical conditions. I think we're good on that front.
That's a good point, Robert. And you can tell I'm a fan of cold opens because I totally forgot to introduce everybody. I'm Tyler Treese, the managing editor coming soon. I'm joined by up top Colin Tessier, the senior editor of WrestleZone. Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, surprisingly, yes.
Now you ask?
Most people don't, so I appreciate you.
I'm very prepared. So, Bill Pritchard, the man, the myth. No T.
No, I have a T.
No, he has.
You do have a T. Oh, damn it. I still can't get your name right. Bill Pritchard, managing editor, WrestleZone.
Why aren't the names coming up on the screen?
We don't need names where we're going.
Whatever.
And then Robert DeFelice?
Listen, you tried. I'll allow it. It's DeFelice. It's DeFelice. It is. Feel like
somebody turned off display names. That's why.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Now they know who we are. Listen, I'm not an editor anywhere, but if you find pro wrestling journalism on the internet, I'm probably there. So I'm excited for this journey, and let's get into it.
Yeah. So we have that awesome opening, and then we get this great montage, very musical, and there's so many action scenes. When I spoke with Zack Snyder, I basically told him that some of those action scenes in the opening montage would have been the big set piece in most films. They would have built up to that. That would have been the defining shot. They're so over the top. We see the whole zombie apocalypse in Vegas, because the film takes, most what sets it aside is that so much of the film takes place after the initial outbreak. It's already been contained by the point we see the film. So all that chaos of people getting eaten by zombies and getting attacked, that's all in this beginning segment, and it's very fun. With you see Elvis impersonators, so you get a good vibe of Vegas here. Bill, I feel like you've been to Vegas quite a few times. You seem like the type of guy.
I've been there once.
Just once?
Yeah, it was for Double or Nothing, the first one. I went out for the weekend, and I didn't do a lot of the typical Vegas stuff. Like, I went to a minor league baseball game. I went to the Hoover Dam. I happened to see some wrestling while I was there.
Oh yeah, everybody does in Vegas.
Yeah,
baseball.
I hit the Strip. I went out with Nick Houseman and Ross Berman.
There you go.
People watched. I thought it was cool that you could buy alcohol in a CVS with 250 people. So I don't know. I didn't. I'm not much of a gambler, so whenever I go to like Atlantic City or Vegas, it's like I'm watching other people lose or win a lot of money. But I thought this was a very accurate representation of that, and I didn't realize it until the end. But this was what Bautista was filming in Atlantic City at the Showboat when Bloodsport was there. So I was down there for that, and like half of the casino was tarped off and like sectioned off. So it's kind of cool to see what I knew about back then, and it translated really well on the film, on the screen.
Yeah, and then Colin, what do you think about this opening sequence? Have you ever been to Vegas? I'm striking out on all my assumptions, both on how your names are pronounced and if who's been to Vegas and whatnot. Maybe Colin's like goes to Vegas every weekend. Who knows?
I can guarantee you that's not the case. I've never been. Not exactly my scene. Maybe I'll go one day. But I from what I know about Vegas, from what you see on like TV and stuff, like it looked great. It was very colorful. For me, it was funny just because for me, I came to this movie thinking of Zack Snyder in the DC movie sense, where everything's dark and gritty, and like you got this nice and shiny Vegas. I thought that was a kind of fun way to kind of I don't know, prove some of those assumptions about Zack Snyder wrong as in terms of as a director. And this was a fun way, like you said, we kind of skipped over the outbreak and the usual stuff you would see in a zombie movie, and like we kind of moved to like the post-apocalyptic sense, where it's like this is what happens after. So I like that. This is very fun. I liked how it was packed into this opening sequence, and it was fun way they had like the Viva Las Vegas song going in the background. Like it was a really fun opening, combined with the opening we were just talking about with the Roadhead. But I thought it was a great way to start the film overall.
Yeah, this isn't dark quite like the DC movies, but there's some good dark comedy. I like putting off a nuclear bomb during like the 4th of July, like just that idea of like patriotic.
The
like,
dude
I can see that happening.
The dude that caused the accident should have yelled Martha.
Yes, I made many Martha jokes while watching this film. I like the intro a lot. I thought Bautista looked like he owns a bodega, and I felt like I could relate to this version of Dave Bautista, who I was upset, and I'll spoil this right now, does not Bautista bomb a single zombie in this film.
No, but he hit like a couple of moves. There was the one with the dude where I thought he was gonna hit a spine buster, but he like slammed the guy's head off of the top of the door frame. And then he like Beal throwed another guy, and
we do get the typical wrestler stuff, and I enjoyed that. But this opening was everything you could want. It's violence straight out the jump. And that's really what you're coming to a zombie movie for. You're not here for the plot. You're here to see some zombies die again.
Which is interesting because I'm sure we'll get more into it, but like leading up to it, and he talked to Tyler, he did like the interview with it. He was like, yeah, what really drew me to the movie was the story, and he could relate to it, like the personal relationship. And I'm like, yeah, that's really cool, and I understand it, but it's kind of like you're not going to a zombie movie for that. And then I like those scenes, but at the same time, like the way that it was cut together, it was like, oh, the zombies attacked, and then he's having this emotional moment, and then like Garrett Dillahunt, is that his name? The dude from Fear the Walking Dead.
Sure, let's go. I
don't know. He looked like a agent,
yeah, Dillahunt,
security guard. Yeah, like, and then it was like switching to him doing nefarious things, and it was just like it would have worked a lot better if there was more balance, but it seemed like even at 2.5 hours running time, there was too much juggling going on.
Yeah, like we didn't even get like to the actual heist about like 40 minutes into the film when they start talking about that. And Batista, they do. There's quite the cast here, you know. Obviously, Batista plays Scott, the main character, and then he has his estranged daughter. You know, we get Amari Hardwick's there as Vanderhill, as you know, total badass killing machine, and then we have Matthias. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name. Is Dieter, the German safecracker.
Schwighofer.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, and we have. Did you get okay? So here's something I found out after I watched the film, but like Tig Notaro's character, she was like she wasn't in the filming. She was all done like
The entire thing was
altered.
green screen.
Yeah,
I saw that. That's crazy.
they altered her all in. I did not even notice the whole time I watched. So like I rewatched the film this morning, and I was just so impressed that like she was never actually in the room with these people, and like it was all just because like the original actor got was embroiled in a scandal, so they recast. But like you would never
Really?
notice.
I would have never known.
Like Zack Snyder said like it's gonna cost a couple of $1 million to fix, and I understand why they did it. He said it was an easy decision, but it's like if they can make it look that good and unnoticeable for a movie like this, like why don't they put that much effort into like look at stuff like, you know, that isn't just a straight recast, but like CGI effects, and like that's not cheap trying to, you know, put her in scenes that are already shot. Like you're gonna know certain stuff, but I just thought that was so well done, and it makes you think like she would have been a better person in that role anyways. Like you know, not to knock Dave Bautista, like he's the leading guy, but it really never feels like it's his movie with just some basic supporting people for fodder. Like it really feels like a true ensemble cast.
Yeah, who are your favorite members, Bill? Who's shined out of the whole heist crew?
The guy that opens the safe, the German dude, and probably the pilot. Was it Stevens?
Yeah. They were both great. Colin, who stood out for you? I really loved. Before I get to you, I want to talk. I liked Vanderhill a lot,
Peter,
and
not Stevens, Peters, and Dieter.
And then I thought Dave's character had a lot of depth by the end, which was really nice, which I really enjoyed. And you know his relationship with his daughter, and we'll talk about more about that soon. But like, you know, there was a lot of hard hitting scenes that I didn't really expect, because you see the trailers, it's so colorful. It seemed like a real fun movie, and it is fun. There's a lot of, you know, high flying action, but like there's more heart to this film than I would have expected, and you know that was a real surprise. But like Dieter, and you know, that was a real highlight too. He's just so funny in every scene he's in. But Colin, who were your favorites?
I'll definitely say the same about Dieter. I thought he was very funny. I liked Van. I thought he was a nice kind of balance of like tough guy and funny. Like you said, Batista's character had a lot of depth as well, and I really like that. And like you said, yeah, like you expect this zombie movie, a lot of violence, and like kind of you don't expect to have this, you know, storytelling of these emotional scenes, and this movie really did deliver that. And like I said, plenty of like zombie killing and all that stuff anyway, but that was kind of balanced out by, you know, Bautista and his daughter and all these things. So I definitely like that. And I do want to point out, for me, one of the, like, not part of the heist crew, but Theo Rossi's character, like the you know, corrupt guard or whatever, I thought he was like one of the, like, a really, like, probably the best antagonist they could have. I really liked Rossi and Luke Cage, so I kind of went into that, kind of knowing him from that. But I thought he played that role very well, and it was cool having him pop up again at the end, and like having that investment in one of the zombies, like as a actual bad guy. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, his comeback at the end was really great, just to see him and see the damage that he winds up causing, and kind of getting his revenge after being betrayed. Robert, what characters really stood out for you in the film?
First of all, what a scumbag that character was. Perfectly cast. I was so excited when he ultimately met his match. Coyote was great. Nobody's mentioned Coyote. Coyote was fantastic. I thought she brought a lot of levity to the film. Dieter and Van probably stole the film. And I like the pilot a lot. I can't believe that she wasn't actually in the film because she was one of the better characters.
Yeah, it was originally a man, so like it's crazy that like not only did they recast the whole character, they changed the entire gender for the character. So that was wild. And then,
yeah, but one character I did not like was Kate, and we'll get there. Kate was terrible.
She's she's like the plot device, so it's like
more heart than brains.
But it's there. So
let's get straight into this because I did want to talk about the relationship between Scott and Kate, and that is like a big, the plot kind of revolves around that. And even though Dave Bautista character denies it, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing this just to get in with my daughter." It totally is the reason why he's doing this. It's not about the money. So, air your grievances about Kate, Robert. I want to hear this.
Robert.
Okay, look, she did not need to do half the things she did. They're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. She's the epitome of more heart than brain. And I feel like we're supposed to resonate with this, but I just kept screaming, "You're screwing everything up." Everybody puts their lives more in jeopardy because you're more worried about this woman whose kids, by the way, that you're supposed to be watching. We don't even know what happened to her kids. So, like,
I don't think they made it out, brother. I think they got nuked.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the kids get nuked anyway, why are you doing this? Your crew would still be here if you weren't so, let me think with my heart. Like, she ended up causing more problems than she did solving any of them. And by the way, she's not covered in any armor throughout this film. She was really just there to cause problems. You can't change my mind on that.
Does anybody disagree with Robert? Because you made a compelling case. I feel like.
It's true. It's true.
She did get what, like $200,000 at the end, but it's like, yeah, you had to shoot your dad in the forehead.
You had to shoot your dad. Your mom is gone. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, wait. The girl that you went in to save and killed the entire team died too.
It's like, what good did she cause? What did she bring to the table that you could say, you know what, Kate, we're better now because you were on this journey? Like, what did you do?
Yeah, and it was surprising that like a lot of the deaths didn't come until that final 30 minutes of the film. Like most of the team made it unscathed, surprisingly, and you're like, wow, I can't believe all these people are gonna make it, and then just all goes to shit because of Kate. You screwed it up, Kate. And another thing that really, makes Army of the Dead stand out was its portrayal of zombies. First off, there's a robot zombie that was shown in like one frame, which was like, what the hell's going on here? So there's all these theories about that. But like furthermore, there's like the alphas, there's like the tiers of the zombies, there's the zombie king. Zeus is his name. So I liked all these different zombies, like, and we still have the brain dead types. So like, they're kind of like the grunts. So I like this class system a lot. Colin, what do you think about, the portrayal of zombies in the film?
I was really into it. I think in a lot of ways, like the zombie genre is one where like a lot of time it could feel like if you've seen one, you've seen them all. So anytime you kind of, sit down and watch a new zombie movie, like it kind of has to work harder to really like bring you in, especially with the zombies themselves. And I just like the mythology here. Like you said, you have Zeus and they're like the smart zombies and the classes. And then I really like the one thing where it was like, oh, like they died when it was sunny, but then they come back when it rains. I was like, that's pretty cool. It's like, they're baking out there in the sun and then they can come back. And then also the hibernating, I thought that was awesome. That was a really cool, like really tense and like, different way to kind of incorporate horror into the movie, where it's like it's not just fighting zombies and like literally killing them. It's like trying to like evade them, and like I thought that was probably one of the better scenes in the movie. But I really like the different ways that Snyder and just the story itself like found ways to shake it up and do zombies differently, which I know I appreciated, because a lot of the time it does tend to kind of be a lot of the same stuff. So I definitely like that a lot.
Bill, same question, but I also want to ask: did you notice the robot zombie? Because I totally missed it. I only found out from reading
no,
like
no.
online.
Now
Like,
that
there's a
you
lot of little
mentioned it,
things hidden in this film, which is cool. Like, even UFOs appear at the beginning. Like, there's like one clip where there's UFOs in the sky. So like, they do a lot of world building, but they don't. It's kind of just like in the background that like most people probably won't notice, which I thought was cool. But what do you think about the zombies, Bill?
I liked it. Like, I don't know if you guys watch Walking Dead or, you know, any kind of stuff that has come out in the past like decade or so, but I'm drawn to the more unique approaches to zombies. Like, I like 28 Days Later. I like Dawn of the Dead because it was just, even though it was, you know, a remake, it was so much different than what we were used to. I really liked all of the things that Colin already pointed out, you know, about the class system, about how they adapt to their environment with, you know, the sun and hibernating and stuff. But what did I miss?
No, I'm sorry. I looked at our comments on
Oh.
Facebook, and somebody just said "Adnan Verk." It just cracked me up.
Guy can't catch
Speaking
a
of-
break.
God.
Speaking of the undead,
Yeah, we're filming live right now, so
Rest in peace to Adnan Verk's WWE career, I guess.
it'll rain one day. He'll come back.
but yeah, like I liked all that stuff. I liked how the only thing I didn't really like was, like, I know it's a zombie film and you don't really need much explanation, but like, how the hell did zombies procreate? Like,
Okay.
That bothered me
like
so
how
much.
does that happen? Because that baby offspring, like, it was at the point where it would have had to have been created after they both turned. So I don't know if this is going to be like one of those things explained like in the sequel, or if Zack Snyder's going to tweet out like, "Oh, P.S. Here's how it happened." Like, just
Well, okay, Bill. I thought you'd understand this being a father yourself, but when a
Pain of
mommy zombie and a daddy zombie love each other, the zombie stork then brings a zombie baby.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a
And the
zombie
zombie
tiger, so it
robot
could be a zombie
delivers the
stork.
baby.
I know it served as advancing the plot and serving as the reason that, you know, they went to war, so to speak, but it was just kind of like that part was a stretch for me. Like,
I like how this is where you draw the line.
like, I'm suspending disbelief for everything that's going on. I watch professional wrestling every week. I let the Undertaker having superpowers go, but I draw the line at zombies making babies.
I think clearly the lesson here is that family is the problem. Look at the issues here. First of all, we don't know if this lady had died pregnant, if she was turned pregnant, what happened here. But there was a zombie baby that is still alive, by the way. It was ripped out of the womb, and
But didn't they say that it was the conflict or whatever had been going on for years at that point, or months?
I felt like that. Like, I felt like there was some kind of time
Like, maybe
lapse.
not explicitly, but they showed time passing because of, you know, the state of the city and how they built the wall. And
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, there's a whole zombie, and like it kind of gets into like a moral question. Like, the zombies have their own whole like community going on. It's not like, you know, with the different class system, and everything. It's not like they're brain dead. Like, they have their whole thing going on there, and you know they do that sacrifice at the beginning, and then they kind of just leave them alone. The alphas do, you know, until you know the bride kind of gets killed. Well, her head chopped off. She's still kind of moving around, but yeah. So like, it's a question like, oh, is it really moral to kill zombies? And I'd say, yeah. I mean, they're zombies.
which they tried for a second. I think they had the former head of the DNC. That lady was in the movie doing like a news press conference of, oh, is it moral to do this? And look, I don't think we need moral complex issues in a zombie film, okay? It just doesn't, that's not what we're here for. I will say, the person who took the head from the queen, total asshole, wanted to see that guy die a horrible death the entire film, and when it happened, I was here for it.
All right, so Robert, I need to get your thoughts on the zombies. Specifically, there was a zombie horse and a zombie tiger. How do we get these animals?
I absolutely want the zombie tiger. The zombie horse was a little weird. The tiger, which by the way ate the face off the man I was just talking about, and it was fantastic. That is a loyal animal. I mean, Siegfried and Roy, those tigers not loyal. The zombie tiger, very loyal. Look at what it did to this piece of filth. Just ripped his face right off for messing with the queen. I appreciate that loyalty. I think we need these hybrid zombies animals. This is what we need in the world in 2021.
Great.
I thought that was the best kill.
Yeah.
I mean, he just threw him around like a rag doll, and it was like you could feel the power of like the tiger throwing him against like the column, and like I love that, especially because he just came off of Fear the Walking Dead. I keep bringing it up. Yes, I watched the show, but he got killed off on the show, and I thought it was kind of funny how he was like, I'm moving on to something different. And then his first project that he releases after he gets killed off is this. And he was a great character on the show, but it was such a role reversal because he was like a good, like a sheriff in Texas. And now he's, like the not so obvious bad guy.
Yeah, that's great.
I thought
realistically, why wasn't he killed immediately? They all knew that this guy is a piece of shit. We need to kill him. He's here to watch us. Why didn't they just kill him?
Because the girl was like, I'll keep your secret or whatever. And then he double crossed her, even though everybody was like, that's what's going to happen. The coyote. But I don't know.
I got to say, it was great how they lowballed the guard guy. Everybody else is getting paid millions. They're like, we'll give you 10 grand. He's like, yeah, I'm down.
Like, I'll do whatever you want for 10 grand.
Oh, man. So, Colin, the big bad here is Zeus. How'd you feel that the King Zombie really worked as an antagonist, especially that final fight scene where he's wrecking hell throughout the city and he jumps on the damn helicopter? There's some crazy scenes there.
I liked it a lot, and like Robert was saying, that he didn't want this moral debate or whatever. But man, seeing the zombie cry, okay, like I had feelings. This man just lost his zombie queen, so I like. I like that, that kind of that aspect where it was like there was emotion and I guess romance. There was a baby, man. There's a zombie baby. So like
think about the zombie babies.
So, but for the character, like for the monster, the villain himself, I thought it worked really well. The way he was shot, like he had this presence. So every time he like arrived, it was like, oh, someone's about to go down. And then someone pointed out earlier, like he's wearing this like mask that looked like the Undertaker's from like back in the 90s. Like, and I don't understand where the mask, like, other than just being for battle armor, I guess. But he's a zombie, so that didn't make a lot of sense.
Well, no, it's he's got to protect his head. He knows that's where they're going.
Right.
So he took Kane's mask on top of a mask that he did in the Return of the Mask era, and just like, all right, here we go. I liked the alpha idea, but it just, come on, again, these are unnecessary plot holes. We don't need to be going after the zombie queen. Why does this zombie have emotions? You're dead. How you crying? You're already dead. What are you crying about?
We got a whole animated series coming up. We got sequels planned, so they need all this plot devices to flesh out the universe.
Yeah, I remembered that after I finished the movie, I was like, oh shit, the animated series is a prequel. So it's kind of like, okay, they could do something like Bates Motel where they completely reinvent it and like completely win me over, or it's just going to be like, okay, it's a cartoon and I already know they all die, so why do I care how they got here? You know what I mean?
Well, an interesting thing, when Van and Dieter are talking, they talk about like time loops and are they just repeating themselves? So, we see those dead bodies and they all have the same like jewel, like the one had the same key, they had the bandana. So like they play with some neat ideas that could certainly, be played up in the animated series, especially since you won't need to get all this star-studded cast together to, if you want to play with that idea. So, and then, I love that idea. I love just, you wouldn't expect like Van to be this like deep philosophical guy, which was such a funny thing with Amari's character. And man, I just love that bromance between him and Dieter. It's just so unexpected, and they really do steal the show a lot. And I guess let's talk about the ending here. Scott's death, a highly emotional scene, and most of it is spent talking about lobster rolls.
All right, listen. I had lobster the following day after watching this movie because everybody loves a damn good lobster roll. Okay, like that's the most accurate thing said in this film. And it's true. Everybody does love a damn good lobster roll. But I want to talk about what we skipped over completely because that's how useless it was, which was Maria just being like, I'm here because I love you. Dave, let me think about that. Dave thinks about it for 5 seconds, and that's about all he gets because Maria gets her neck snapped. Not bitten, not anything. They just snap her neck. Like, there you go. Everybody you love dies, Dave. That's how this works, Bautista. Everybody you love dies.
He already lost a wife. Oh, man. So, Bill, what's your thoughts on the ending and mostly lobster rolls?
I kind of had an idea he was dying from the outset, but I mean, can we just get a movie where like something good happens to somebody that Bautista plays? Like, did you guys ever see that movie Bushwick or whatever? What the fuck?
I did not.
It was fucking awful. Like, it was good until like this movie's, I don't know, like 10 years old or whatever by this point, but like he gets killed like a third of the way into the movie, and it's just like this random shooting. Like, he's helping this girl. I can't think of her name right now. She was on Nip Tuck and a bunch of other stuff. But he like dies in it, and then it's kind of like similar concept where they have to get out of the city before some kind of like civil war breaks out. And you're like, oh yeah, they make it to the end, and then the last final character, like, they just fucking shoot her like right where she's standing, and it's like just this bleak like ending. And I felt like this was kind of towing that line, but then with the lobster roll stuff and like, at least he made amends, but I just kind of wanted to maybe see him like survive.
You know what though,
or at
Bill?
least that unit, like, have them stick together, even though they made amends, like, because they spent so much time apart. And it's like, it's not like the entire world was affected. They literally contained it to Las Vegas. So they had their own lives. It just, I don't know.
It's a bit of a gut punch.
I appreciated the plane at the end. I'll say that.
So, Colin, what do you think about Scott eating the bullet here? His daughter kills him. Another downer for Kate.
I mean, yeah, we were talking about Kate and like how in the plot, well, she was kind of useless, but then she like kind of gets that moment, so that was kind of weird. But that was a rough moment, man. Like, when they're just sitting there talking about lobster rolls, and then I'm like, I want a lobster roll, and like I'm sitting there sad and watching this man say goodbye to his daughter. Saying
not
goodbye
only
to
are
his
you
dream.
sad, you're sitting there hungry now.
Yeah, man. And then I sat there like, this man saying goodbye to his dream of opening a lobster roll place or an artisan grilled cheese place. And I'm like, that's tragic. Where the world is losing this potential great chef, and this woman is losing her father, and this is tragic. And then we get the plane scene, and I'm like, do we know if there's going to be a sequel? Because like that pretty clearly set up like this Van's going to Mexico, and he's going to infect everybody there. So I don't know.
I feel like they have to at this point.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's definitely supposed to start a franchise, so it seems like they'll be going in that direction. I did want to talk about that, the van ending. It seems like we're finally going to get something happy there. He makes it out alive. Everybody he knows is like dead, but he made it. He buys a whole private jet. It's like he's living his best life on this private plane. He's going to have himself a vacation. And then he's like, oh, fuck, I'm bit. And that's how the film ends. It's like some good dark comedy there. Like I like the twist there, because it's like after you see Scott die, you just know you're not going to get a happy ending. And even though Kate survives, I still don't think it's like a very happy ending. Like Robert said, the happy ending would have been if Kate died.
Yeah, look, the reality is that Scott would have been alive had he not had to go back in for Kate, who went back in for Gita, who died anyway. They're all dead. You see, Kate, if you'd just stuck to the plan, your dad'd still be alive and you'd be opening an artisan grilled cheese / lobster roll place. I like that Van survived as long as he did, and just long enough to have a beautiful toast to the twists of fate. And then it's, oh, joke's on me, I'm also bit. Now, I do wonder how he survived so long, because nobody else survived that long being infected. But hey, he made it out. And now as soon as he lands, if he lands, he's a zombie and people are in trouble.
Yeah, so very interesting twist there. Bill, like, do you want to see him as maybe like the alpha of Mexico, maybe?
Yeah, I think it leaves a lot open to interpretation. Like, they kind of just were like implying that everybody on the plane is going to be infected, or like, the smart thing would be to have him, have them shoot him or shoot himself before anything happens. But of course that never happens. The right thing never happens. So I feel like, they're going to have this like little part of Mexico, like pretty much set up like Vegas was this time. So, as long as it's not too much of a retread, I'm totally open for a sequel to see where they can go with it. I think it's kind of funny that they always it seems like they always pick Mexico as like the place to get away, or like, oh, it's going to be different in Mexico.
Well, that's what Ted Cruz thought too when all the power was out.
why wouldn't he fly to like Canada? Like, I feel like that could be fun. Like, go the other way.
Nice zombies. That's the twist that you need.
Zombies with
nice
zombies
Canadian
with free
zombies.
healthcare.
That's
I like
the
that.
twist you need.
I like that a lot. So, since we have so many great people from WrestleZone here, I do want to talk a bit about Dave Bautista's performance here. Colin, were you impressed by it? Do you think he, like we said, this is definitely an ensemble film. Do you feel like he's solidified himself as being capable as a proper leading man now?
I think so. I mean, my main knowledge of him as an actor, his big role for me is obviously Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. So, and that was a very different role, very comedic and like very different than this. This was, depth and emotion, and he's got this relationship with his daughter, and he's playing this man that's like lost everything, that had to kill his wife and everything. So I thought he did a great job with that, just kind of showing a different side of himself, where he was still very much like this action star, but it wasn't just, just the guy killing zombies. Like, it was a guy that had feelings, the guy that had these relationships, and I thought he just really played that part very well. So if this turns out to be his like kind of, I guess, breakout performance wouldn't be the right word, but like, something that kind of leads to him getting something else like even bigger than this potentially, I would not be surprised. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, and then Bill, you've seen a lot of Batista over the year, but both inside the wrestling ring and outside. I thought it spoke to a lot of how he found so much depth in the performance, and he was able to relate his own life and his own failings as a parent at points in his life to really relate with this role. And I think that speaks a lot to his ability as an actor to give his character more depth. How impressed were you with his acting here?
I thought it was really good. That's the short answer. I don't know if it was just me, but like, I feel like there was a shared mannerism, or like somewhat of the same demeanor that he had for Sapper in Blade Runner.
Yeah,
like, there's just something about him that he felt like he was carrying some of that, and I kind of like that he's a little more subdued and soft spoken. He lets the events around him, kind of convey the emotion, instead of being, like everybody thinks, oh, he's this big ex wrestler, like jack dude. He's gonna like scream and like throw stuff around, and he uses his power when he needs to, but he's like calculated. I liked how, I said this earlier, like it didn't feel like they were trying to force the role of like, okay, he's the head guy and it's just a bunch of other people supporting him. Like, it was very much an ensemble. I think he could be a leading guy. I don't know what that project would be, but I would say this is one of his better acting roles. I mean,
Yeah,
I didn't like Bushwick because they killed him off, but at the same time, I loved him in Hotel Artemis. I think that's very underrated. I liked him in Spectre, even though he was in it briefly.
Yeah, and his next role's going to be another ensemble. He just joined Knives Out 2, so that'll be interesting to see how he does there as well. Robert, what do you think about big old Dave's performance here? And are you sad we didn't see Bautista at any point?
Okay, well, yes, I am sad we didn't see Bautista. I'm sad we didn't see a lot of things. The man does a Gatling gun for his entrance, and yet he can't bust that out to kill some zombies. Dave really could have dug into the bag of tricks and taken care of everything he needed to here. But Dave is great, kind of like wrestling. Dave joined too late to really be able to enjoy a top career for long, because I think Dave is a great actor, and I think he had a smoother transition than The Rock, because people forget Rock's best actor in the world now, but he struggled for a long time just floundering doing random projects. Dave is great. Dave has a niche, and this would be a thumbs up film if it wasn't for the gigantic plot holes, none of which have to do with Dave's acting. Dave is fantastic. He should keep it up.
What are you saying, Robert? Are you trying to diss the Tooth Fairy starring Dwayne Johnson?
I'm dissing the game plan. I'm dissing the Tooth Fairy. Race to Witch Mountain is only good for a meme. Rock struggled for a long time.
The disrespect to the Tooth Fairy. We will not have that.
Larry the Cable Guy took it over, so you know.
Yeah. Okay, maybe you're right about the Tooth Fairy. That's a good point. So I guess let's wrap it up here. Get our overall recommendations. It seemed like everybody liked it, but I would like to get your final thoughts. For myself, I thought the film was really good. Like a lot of Snyder products, it was a little bit too long. It clocks in like 2 hours, 30 minutes, and I just feel like it could have been cleaned up slightly. Like at the beginning portion, that like the 30 minutes before they even like start the heist stuff is a bit like, after that great beginning, it kind of drags a little bit, but I get what they were doing, and they do build awesome stuff that pays off wonderfully at the end. So I'm not sure how I'd cut it, but it's a longer watch, but it does work well. So I give it, thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. Colin, what do you think?
You say it was a little long, but my question
you wanted it too short?
My question is, where's the Snyder cut of this movie? Give me a 4-hour cut of this movie.
He's going to add the lobster truck on the end of it.
Then seriously, I liked it. I thought it was good. For me, like a movie like this, it's easy to kind of get into when I have that automatic, like, it's Bautista. I like him as a wrestler, so I'm kind of automatically willing to give it a chance in that sense. It was a fun zombie movie. I like like I said, I like the stuff they did with the zombie like mythology and stuff. And then they kind of counteracted that with a lot of heart and emotion as well. So for me, it's definitely a thumbs up and worth a watch. But yeah, it is a little long and it could be cleaner. But based on what we did get, I would say it was, a successful project, and one that I'm excited about this potential franchise of other, the prequel animated series, whatever it might be. I think there's definitely a lot of ground for further exploration as well.
Definitely. Bill, would you recommend this film?
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. I overall enjoyed it. If you just want to sit down and watch like some cool kills and not pay attention to the plot, it's fun. That's why you watch a zombie movie. Like we picked it apart a little bit, but on the surface, it's a fun movie. Yeah, thumbs up, man. I would recommend watching it, and I look forward to seeing what they do with the sequel.
See, I want to hone in on what Tyler said real quick. He said he wants to clean it up. I don't think Bautista would look good with some CGI mustache rendering out. So I don't want to see it cleaned up the way other Snyder films have been cleaned up. Thumbs up on the Snyder cut of Justice League. This film, I think Bill said it best. If you ignore the plot and you just watch these action and the kills, it's thumbs up. For me, I spent about half this movie screaming at them to kill the government guy from The Walking Dead, and I spent the other half wondering why Kate was doing what she was doing. So if you pay attention to the plot, I say thumbs down. As just a zombie film, I say thumbs up.
Yeah, so we all gave it thumbs up here. It's a good film, Army of the Dead. Check it out on Netflix. Thanks to all of you great guys. WrestleZone.com. Check it out. ComingSoon.net. It's all right.
And I'm from everywhere. Apparently.
Everywhere. I did laugh at your tag.
I'm just everywhere. So there you go. Follow me everywhere.
Yeah, so thank you guys for all that. Thanks for watching our thoughts here. So we'll see you next time. Who knows when. Bye.